Are telling the Japanese media.
And 4 bottles that were thought to have.
Have you ever seen a real Joker?
Not one bit. So, me watching, he takes the knife to her, laughing while he does it. He turns to me and he says, "Why so serious?"
After he critically stabbed a 72-year-old man and started a fire on the train. The man remained unconscious.
Let me tell you about the worst and most horrific case in Japan's history, committed by someone disguised as the Joker. Once upon a time, in 2021 on October 31st, during Halloween at 8 p.m. Japan time, specifically in Tokyo, on one of the most important railway lines named Keio, a terrifying incident occurred that is beyond imagination. As we know, Halloween involves dressing up as scary characters, killers, or in eye-catching costumes with makeup or accessories. Among the costumed individuals, there was someone dressed as the Joker from the movie The Dark Knight, on a train full of people on the Keio line. This person sat next to an elderly man, then reached into his pocket, pulled out a knife, and did the unthinkable. Kyota Hattori, a 24-year-old man born in Fukuoka, Japan, had a seemingly normal childhood but was introverted and struggled with social interactions. As a child, his parents divorced, and he moved in with his mother. He was known to be smart and polite, and neighbors described him as a lovely child. But one day, everything changed. Kyota was passionate about anime and games. After finishing high school, he worked at a cafe, and things seemed to be going well until one day when a customer accused him of peeping. The customer didn't complain to the manager or the cafe owner, but called the police due to his suspicions about Kyota's behavior. After an investigation, Kyota was not jailed and the charges were dropped, but the cafe owner decided to fire him. After being dismissed, Kyota searched for a job for weeks until he found a position as a sales representative at a mobile phone company. He was committed, polite, and organized in his new job. In 2017, he met a girl, and they started a relationship that lasted 4 years. They were deeply in love, but their relationship began to deteriorate gradually. In 2021, they broke up, and this wasn't the only misfortune that year, as he was also laid off from work. These events led to severe depression and a worsening mental state. As his condition deteriorated, Kyota began smoking heavily and drinking alcohol, believing it would help him forget his troubles, but it only made things worse. He eventually decided to end his life in a very bizarre way. On October 31st, Kyota dressed as the Joker and headed to Shibuya with the intent of committing mass murder and then taking his own life in a crowded place. However, he faced a challenge, as the area was open and people could easily escape. So he decided to go to the Keio line, where he could execute his plan in a closed and crowded space. He sat next to an elderly man, pulled out a knife, and began stabbing him repeatedly. People panicked and fled to other carriages. He then waved the knife and injured more people. Afterward, he took out a plastic container of gasoline, poured it, and set it on fire. He walked around feeling triumphant and enjoying the chaos, while people screamed. He eventually sat down and calmly smoked a cigarette until the police arrived and arrested him. During the investigation, Kyota stated that he committed the act due to his mental state, especially after learning that his ex-girlfriend had married someone else just 6 months after their breakup. He said he chose the Joker character because he was deeply obsessed with it. However, Kyota's plan didn't go as he intended. In this incident, he injured 17 people, but no one died, not even the elderly man who was saved by emergency services. Kyota was sentenced to 19 years in prison. The lesson from this case: don't be like Kyota, and don't let emotions completely control you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and let me know what story you want me to tell next.